The suitcase by the door was the first blow. Not the words. Not even the cold way she delivered them. It was the fact that she'd packed it quietly, without a word, like a thief slipping out in the night. "Girls' trip," she said, brushing a strand of hair behind her ear. "A week. Just us. You should use this time to think about your mistakes." Mistakes. That word cracked through me like glass shattering. I searched her face for softness, for even a flicker of the woman I once married, but her eyes were sharp, defensive. Not sorrowful. Not even distant. Defensive. "What mistakes, Anna?" I asked, my voice quieter than I intended. She zipped the suitcase closed. "If you don't know, maybe that's the biggest problem." And just like that, she wheeled it out the door, leaving me with silence heavy enough to choke on. For the first 2 days, I tried to convince myself she was right. Maybe I had been distracted. Work had taken too much of me. I hadn't planned dates. I hadn't noticed the little changes in her. The new perfume, the late-night showers, the sudden distance. I told myself this trip was her way of shaking me awake. But something didn't sit right. It was the way she'd said "girls' trip," like the words were rehearsed. Too neat. Too packaged. On the third night, I called Melissa, her closest friend. "Girls' trip." Melissa laughed nervously on the other end. "No, not with me." "I wish. She didn't tell you where she was going." I froze. My chest tightened. "No," I said slowly. Melissa hesitated, then lowered her voice. "Look, maybe she just needed space. You know Anna. She doesn't like confrontation." But confrontation was all I could taste. I started noticing things. Her laptop, left behind, logged into her email. A hotel confirmation under a man's name, Michael. Not a friend I knew. Not a coworker. Just a name. My hands shook as I scrolled. Dates matched her trip. Location. A seaside resort 3 hours away. 1 king bed. I slammed the laptop shut, my breath jagged. My stomach churned like I'd swallowed fire. For hours, I sat in the dark, replaying every red flag I had smoothed over. The late work meetings where she came home smelling like someone else's cologne. The new lingerie she never wore around me. The way she had started locking her phone, keeping it face down, screen flashing at odd hours. I had wanted so badly to believe marriage meant safety. That love had its own inertia. That if I gave her time, she'd come back to me. Now all I could see was betrayal, woven into every smile she'd faked. Every touch that had felt colder than before. By the 5th night, I couldn't take it. I drove to the resort. The ocean air hit me first, salty and sharp, but it didn't soothe. It only sharpened the tension inside me. The hotel's glow spilled across the parking lot like a secret. At the front desk, I asked for their room, pretending to be family. The clerk gave me a polite smile and a room number. I stood outside their door, my hand hovering above the wood. Behind it, muffled laughter. Her laughter. It was like hearing my heart ripped in two. I didn't knock. I couldn't. My legs carried me back down the hall, back to my car, as if survival depended on retreat. The drive home was a blur of headlights and tears I couldn't stop. Every mile felt like an unraveling. Threads of trust and love pulled until nothing was left but raw ache. When I got home, her perfume still lingered on the pillow, sweet and suffocating. I buried my face in it. Not because I wanted comfort, but because I wanted to remember the lie for what it was. She returned 3 days later. "Did you think about your mistakes?" she asked, setting her suitcase down like nothing had happened. I looked at her, really looked, and saw everything I had ignored. The guilt hidden behind her eyes, the practiced casualness in her voice, the way her hand gripped the suitcase handle too tightly. "Yes," I said, my voice steady. "I did." Her smile faltered. And I walked past her, into the kitchen, where her phone was charging. She followed me, frowning. I picked it up and set it on the counter. "Mistakes," I whispered. "Like trusting you." Her face drained of color. What are you talking about?" "The resort. Michael. The king bed." Her lips parted, but no words came. Just silence. That silence told me more than any confession could. For a long moment, we stood there, breathing in the space between us. Finally she spoke, her voice cracking. "I didn't want it to happen. I just felt invisible." Like you weren't here. Even when you were. I wanted to scream. I wanted to break something. But instead I whispered. So you made me invisible instead. Tears filled her eyes. I'm sorry. Sorry. A word too small for the wound. That night, I didn't sleep. I sat on the couch, staring at the shadows crawling across the walls, wondering how love could sour so slowly you didn't taste the poison until it was too late. Her betrayal wasn't just about another man. It was about choice. She had chosen to lie, to blame me, to let me think I was the problem while she ran to someone else's arms. In the morning, she tried again. We can fix this. Please, I'll end it. I'll do anything. But I saw her differently now. I saw the fractures she had carved into the foundation of us, the cracks that no apology could seal. You didn't just break us, Anna, I said quietly. You broke me. Her tears came freely then, but they couldn't wash away the truth. When I finally walked out of that house, suitcase in hand, I felt the strangest thing. Not just sorrow. Not just rage. Freedom. The kind that tastes bitter at first, but promises healing on the other side. I don't know where Anna is now. Maybe she's still with Michael. Maybe not. But I do know this. When she told me to use the time to think about my mistakes, I did. And I realized the biggest one wasn't neglecting her. It was trusting someone who had already chosen to leave. And that realization, sharp and final, was the beginning of me choosing myself.